We are going to follow up on what we did last time with some kind of reinforcement of that. Some of the responses that have been coming in have been really good. I'll go over some of those tomorrow. I just wanted to do another one to kind of demonstrate. So you're going to write another song today. Here we go. We're going to do this one in D major. So again, anytime you write a song, and this is why we've been doing it all year, you have to figure out the scale and the chords in order to be in a key and write a song. So, treble clef first. We're doing the D major scale. We're going to start below the treble clef because elephant's got big dirty feet. Bottom line is E. One below that is D. That is this D right here. And now we whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, starting on D. Or if you have it memorized by now, you just know. But from D, we go up a whole step, skip the black key to E. From E, we go up a whole step, we skip F, and we land on a black key. Since F is the next letter of the alphabet, and we raise the frequency up to get to that black key because it's to the right, that makes it F sharp. And now we know that any other black keys are going to be sharps. Half step is next, up to G. Then we do a whole step, skip the black key to A. Then we do a whole step, skip the black key to B. Skip black key B, that's right there. Now we have another whole step, skip C, land on a black key. We know it's got to be a sharp because we're in sharp world. So C up to C sharp. Right, sharp C. And then half step to high D. And elephant's got big dirty feet. There's the D major scale. So we have D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And then we number our scale degrees because we now know how important that is. So I'm going to put them above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. And we know some things about the scale. Scale degree 7 really wants to go up to 1 unless it's in the chord. And scale degree 4 really wants to drop down to 3, right? That's called the leading tone. It really, really wants to go there. And 4 really, really wants to go down to 3. All right, chords. Roman numeral 1 means the 1 chord, means every other note starting on 1. So in this case, that's going to be D, F sharp, and A, 1, 3, and 5. The 4 chord is going to start on 4. It's going to be 4, 6, and 1. So 4, 6, 1. And the 5 chord is going to be 5, 7, and 2 because both the chords and the scale repeat into infinity until you can't hear them anymore in both directions. So 5, 7, and 2 is our 5 chord. And remember, 2 could be up here, E, but 2 is also down here. When we're in the key of D major, every note E in the universe is scale degree 2, whether it's down here or up here or here or here. They're all 2. That's why they're scale degrees. Now we're going to write a song. The way you write a song is 3 things have to go at the beginning of every piece of music. A clef, a key signature, and in this case, it's 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. And traditionally, instead of marking the F sharp down here, it gets marked on the top line. I don't know why, that's just the convention. So instead of first space F, it's top line F, and then third space C, and then we need 4, 4. All right, great, there's our time signature. We're writing a 4-measure song. I'm giving you the chord progression. We're going to use the same chord progression we used yesterday, or what was that, Friday? Time's weird. It's the apocalypse. We're going to start on the 1 chord, which usually is what happens, because it's stable. It's home base. Doesn't contain either of our weird notes, 4 or 7. Then we're going to go to the 4 chord, which contains 4, which really wants to resolve to 3. Then we're going to go back to 1, and then we're going to end on 5, which is the most unstable because the 5 chord contains scale degree 7. So, the way we do this is, there are 4 beats per measure. The simplest way to write a song is to put 4 quarter notes in each measure. It winds up sounding kind of like Disney Junior because we're following all the rules, but that's what we want. And the first note of each measure needs to be a chord tone. And what that means is, this first measure has that chord, the 1 chord. And so I want to start that measure, my melody, on one of those notes, 1, 3, or 5. So I'm just going to arbitrarily start on 5. So I'm going to put 5 right there. Now, I need 3 more notes in that measure, but I'm going to worry about that later. I'm now going to go to the first note of the next measure, and we're going to play connect the dots. So the 4 chord is this chord, G, B, D, 4, 6, and 1. Put it down here too. So I need to pick one of those notes to start on. So I start on 5 in this one. Let's make our melody generally go up. So we're going to go up to 6 here, because 6 is a chord tone. And I'm going to make the stem go down because I'm on the middle line. Great. And I'll fill that in later. Now to the 1 chord, it's 1, 3, or 5. I'm going to go up to 1 and do high 1. Because, there's 1 up here and there's 1 down there. There's also 1, way up there. So there's 1. And now for my 5 chord, I got to do either 5, 7, or 2. And since I'm generally going up, I'm going to go to 2 up there. 2. So now I've put the first note in each measure. I know it's going to sound good because they're all chord tones. Now I'm going to play connect the dots. I need to add in now, when we're writing songs, we want to include a neighboring tone at least once, a passing tone at least once, and a suspension at least once. And so a suspension is when a note is a chord tone from a previous measure and then carries over to the next measure. And since we've done the first note of each measure, we can't really do a suspension now, because none of these, actually we could, I take that back. This, we got lucky, I got lucky, because this is a scale degree 1, but there's also a scale degree 1 in my 4 chord. So if I want to have a suspension, I got to do it right there. Right? Because that's not a chord tone in this measure, that's not a chord tone in that measure, and this is a really weak suspension because it's going chord tone to chord tone. It's actually called a common tone, but it counts, and since we're trying to check off all our boxes, we'll add that in there. So now I'm just going to play connect the dots. I got to get from 5 to 6. I could go 5, 4, 5, 1, do some kind of neighboring tone. I could jump up, but I'm going to try and do a passing tone right off the bat. So I'm going to go 5, down to 4, right? And 4 really wants to go to 3, like that. 5, 4, 3. And then I'll go back up to 5. So I have 5, 4, 3, 5, and then I'm on 6. Great. Now I need to get from 6 to 1. So if I do an upper neighbor and I go 6, 7, 6, 1, that could work. Let's try that. I'm going to go 6, up to 7, back down to 6, up to 1. 7. So 7 here is an upper neighbor because I started on 6, I went 1 note up, and then I came back. 6 is in the chord, 7 is not. So let's label these. This was a passing tone. This is an upper neighbor. Great. Now I'm here on my 1 chord, and since I've already got a passing tone and an upper neighbor, and I already have my suspension here, it's a weak suspension, but it counts. Now I'm going to do my lower neighbor. I'm going to go 1, and then down to 7, and then back to 1. 7, 1. And now I need to get to 2 somehow. So to do that, I'm going to jump up to 3 and come down to it. 3 is up there. That's F sharp, right? And now I've got my lower neighbor here. I've checked everything off. I could just do all chord tones here. But let's do another passing tone. Let's do 2, down to 1, down to 7. And so for a passing tone, if you remember, you got to start on a chord tone, go to a non-chord tone, and then connect to another chord tone. So 2 is in the chord. There it is. 1 is not. 7 is in the chord. They're all going to row. That is a passing tone because it is passing between 2 and 7. And now if this is going to be a big melody, I got 3, 2, 1, 7. If I put 6 right here, that gets me to 5 nice and smooth. And so that's a little fancy, but it counts because 6 becomes a passing tone between this 7, which is a chord tone, and this 5, which is a chord tone. So here's my whole melody. Starts on 5. It goes 5, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, 6, 1, 1, 7, 1, 3, 5, right? And then I'm back to the beginning. So I'm going to play it with the chords from the beginning. This is my melody. Back to the beginning. Second measure. Bad piano playing. And I ended on this first note. That sounds great. One thing I don't like, actually, I guess it's all right. I didn't really like that 5-4-3 at the beginning, but I think it's just because my piano's out of tune. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You are going to write your own melody in D major. All I need, if you don't have music paper and you can't take a picture, although some of you can and have been doing a great job, is a series of numbers. And so if you want to do it this way, say like Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 4, Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 5, then you just need numbers with, what they would be. And you got to start each one on a chord tone. So the thing I wanted to show you today was if you just do the first note of each measure, you can check off all the boxes that way. So post your songs. Tomorrow I'm going to play a bunch of songs that you guys have written. Stay safe. Good luck out there. Bye.